All right, so I'm gonna have to bring y'all in a little bit. No, I did not grow a mustache in a day. I actually decided that, oh my god, there's something on my chin that is just bugging me out. So, my dad, for all that knew him, knew that this man lived for landscaping, lived for doing the yard. Typical, Hispanic stereotype, I know. But it was something he was really good at. It was a stress reliever for him. And he happened to be the last person that did our yard. And he didn't even finish it that Thursday, before the Friday that we found him here in this very room. The medication that the doctor had given him was making him feel really lightheaded, so he didn't come in. And today, my father passed on October 20th, and today is November 20th, so I've been told. And I decided, I picked up my dad, and he's in this little thing right here, and I know it's engraved, so you can't really read it well, but the moon says always in my heart, and the heart says dad, and my dad is in there. But I decided, what better way, after a long day of being out, getting stuff to transport with me for Thanksgiving at the Air Force Base, than to get going with something with our yard. Everybody else's yards are green. Ours is orange because I haven't left my house in a month, the whole month that I've been grieving my father. And I just went to blow leaves and pine needles. Like, I don't think I know how to work the blower. I have like dirt everywhere, sweating, like I patted the sweat down. But my point is, one, I probably need to realize that I didn't get that gene that my dad had for landscaping. And but the most important thing is here, even after having to change a shirt, because I would never wear green with rose gold, that just doesn't go together, I look ridiculous. But I tried, I epically failed. But my makeup, y'all, like, I don't ever come on here and laugh. I haven't laughed in I don't even know how long. But I felt so bad for my yard, and I know I'm going to get something from the HOA because our yard looks horrible, but most people saw my dad taken out of the house and know what we've been going through. But I mean, a month? Come on. But I was sweating my ass off. I have dirt all over my face. I have leaves in my hair. And Cordelia told me I got stuff all over the back of me. It looks like I straight up have a mustache because of all the stuff that was here. And I was just wiping it all away. And do you know that my makeup is still here? This just goes to show you how much these products work and last, first of all, and why I'm obsessed with them. I am obsessed. Let me put you back in my little thing here. I am so obsessed with Limelight because I look for the negatives in things. I'm that person. I'm like, I'm not buying what you're selling. Let me try it out. Oh my God, I'm disgusting, y'all. I've always been that person. Like I always look for, I'm the one that reads the fine print. I'm the one who, is always looking for the black lining in the cloud, not the silver one. Just to protect myself and protect, my family and teach my kids how to, make good decisions. And I have tried every single product. And when I can tell you, like, my hair is splitting in parts because of my sweat, This is sweat. I did not do anything to my hair. You can go back to my live video that I made this morning where my hair was wet and I had just got out the shower. Hi, Carlos. I have dirt in my nose. Y'all, I literally just picked up a leaf blower. I didn't know that it was gonna go. I feel stuff in my throat. I'm not even joking. Ugh. I was trying to honor my dad and trying to make my dad proud, even though he's no longer with us. Today's the first day I put him on because it's a month anniversary of his passing and him getting to leave this horrible place and go up there and do whatever it is that they do up there. And I epically failed. Like, y'all, I had on a black shirt, a black Air Force shirt. It is covered in leaves and dirt and just, I'm disgusting right now. But through all of that, my makeup is still on. Now, I didn't wear a lip stain today. I wore a lip liner with an additional lip gloss. If you caught the video this morning, you'll see what I had. Elaine is blowing up my messenger. But I think I got my dad mixed up. My dad's probably laughing at me, y'all. Like, I know he is. Because he was so awesome at anything he did. But doing the lawn, that was his thing. And I just epically failed at that. So he's probably laughing his ass off at me. But I was going to get on here at 6. But I am going to, while I'm here talking about my sweaty, dirty ass outside trying to do some yard work where I have absolutely no business. I'm still covered in dirt and it's gross. And I have stuff in my nose. I can feel it in my throat. And my makeup is still there, still rocking through the sweat, through the wind, through the dirt and pine needles. And I'm pretty sure I got hit in the face with a rock. A leaf blower I thought was just supposed to just like blow stuff away from you. I swear to God I have dirt in my throat coming from my nose. This has been the most horrible way to tell my dad, hey, look, I learned something from you. I learned a lot from my dad. I did. He used to make me do the yard work. He would like make me every fall rake the leaves, put them in these huge city bags, and then I would have like 8 or 10 of them because we had a huge corner house like I live in right now. And he would be drinking and his friends would be over, and just for fun, he would go and kick those bags over, and it pissed me off. But I was 12. What could I do? And my 8-year-old brother was just sitting there laughing at me because he was one of the guys. And I was just like, really? So he got a kick out of watching me try to rake all these leaves. So now, live in this big old house. We have all these cool lawn gadgets, and he made it look easy. Like, I had to get Draven to even show me where to plug it in at. I don't even know where the outlets are on the outside of my house. That's how much I know about my house or the yard. I've either, one, always paid somebody to come do it, or my dad, while he was living here, he would refuse for anybody to come do it because nobody could do it as good as he could. And he just liked doing stuff like that. So I took a very small, sentimental thing on a sentimental day and tried to be that person. And I'm okay with saying that landscaping's not for me. I wouldn't even go, I would say that I just need to stay inside. My strengths are my faults, my, what I go through in life and what I overcome. my strengths in life come from my voice and what I have to say. And it's okay if I can't do yard work. Godly, the neighbors are probably going to be talking about me when I go see Maddie for Thanksgiving. They're going to be laughing. They're going to be like, did you see that crazy chick with all those tattoos out there? Y'all, I didn't even change. I literally had just come back from getting prescriptions and getting turkey and ham and stuff ready to take to the Air Force Base on Thursday. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to blow the freaking pine needles. I'm so sick of seeing orange pine needles everywhere. And they're on my car. They're everywhere. And they kill the grass. And it makes me mad. So I was like, all right. Instead of going in there and getting dinner ready, I'm going to go blow these pine needles. Yeah. I didn't get past the backyard. I mean, not even like the backyard. Like when you come in through my back gate, there's a patio area between the main house and the garage. And that's where we have the cat food and stuff like that. And there's like cedar and all these rocks. Those blowers kick up rocks. I swear to God, I got hit by so many rocks. And I'm covered in dirt. My face was a lot worse. This sweat is out of control. But through the sweat, through the tears of me crying, I was crying because I was laughing. And the people at Walmart made me cry. The people at Discount Tire made me cry. This has been a very blessed day for me. The last time that me and my dad ran errands was the day before he passed. And he told me, he's like, you need to be preparing, save money because you're going to need 4 more tires. And I was like, Dad, I only have 30,000 miles on these tires. What are you talking about? He was like, well, they're only going to be good till 50. And he was always telling me stuff like that. And I was like, okay, Dad. And don't you know that 3 of my tires have been needing, we have to constantly put air in them. And then the rear passenger tire, like for the past 2 days, like you put air in it and that bitch just goes flat. And we're just like, ugh. I should have listened to my dad. So I went to Discount Tire today, and I don't have like any of that insurance and stuff because it's a new car. And I went in there and I was like, look, this is where my finances are right now because of this loss in my family. And then we never really recovered from Harvey and losing those 6 family members. So I have a very short version of the story I tell because most people recognize us from the hurricane, and I live in Kingwood, one of the hugest cities that was affected by the hurricane. And actually half of my city still doesn't have power, running water, the stores are not open. I mean, like, this city is not recovered by any means. But they decided that they went ahead and repaired. There was a screw in the back tire, so they repaired it. They fixed it to where I could go on it for a couple of days or whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get money to get to these kids at the Air Force Base for Thanksgiving? Because it's a surprise. Obviously, my daughter knows that I'm coming, but there are 10 of her friends who I have adopted, and they are amazing, and they don't get to see their families, and they know that I'm coming to see Maddie, and they like to see me when I come and visit, and they like to see Draven and Cordelia, but they have no idea that when they show up to the hotel suite this time, that I am surprising them with Thanksgiving dinner. And just thinking about it just makes me want to cry, because these kids that I'm talking about, they have similar stories like I have, and they joined the military because they didn't have any other choices in life. And they come from, one of them's from the Bronx, one of them's from like South Side, Atlanta. Like, it was either choose the street life or, you know, die or join the military. And they made the right choice.
What's for dinner?
Huh?
What's for dinner?
I'm going to cook in a minute.
I was just asking.
Yeah.
Haven't eaten.
Well, you might want me to take a shower real quick first. But these kids are amazing. They blow my mind. They miss their families. Don't get me wrong. They love and miss their families. But monetarily speaking, it's not something that they can do. So I'm going to do that for them. I don't have the means to be doing it all, but I can do it better than their family can. And we're making sure that they're all going to be able to go see their families for Christmas. And I hope that none of them watch this video. Only one of them is on my Facebook, so I think I'm good. Most of them are on Snapchat. But that's what my plan is for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is about family, and the holidays are going to suck because my dad is not here. But, you know, today's the first day. If you watched my first video this morning, today is the first day that I said, you know what? Yes, it's a month that my dad has been gone to the day, but I'm going to be okay. We still don't have a cause of death. We don't have a time of death. I remember the events very, very vividly. I've had a month to go over the entire week in my mind, looking for different signs. And you know what? At the end of the day, my dad was a stubborn man. And even if I would have told him, hey, you know, like, maybe you're not dehydrated. Maybe you need to do this, X, Y, and Z. He wasn't the type of person that would go. He was the type of person that would drink a beer, said beer was made of water, and that was his hydration. He didn't kill himself with alcohol or anything like that. It was just a very long day, and the last thing he did, like I said, was cut my grass. So, one thing that people don't know about my dad is that he was very charitable. We grew up going feed the homeless here in Houston or in Louisiana, wherever we lived. We were always feeding the homeless. Like, I really have dirt in my throat. This is disgusting, y'all. I'm going to have to bust out the neti pot to get the mulch and dirt out of my nose. But everybody wants to know where I got this giving spirit, where I got this strong this need to help other people, even when I need help myself. My dad didn't have life insurance. And, you know, dealing with the aftermath, you know, they don't think about that. Hell, my dad was watching TV, eating trail mix. Like, he obviously didn't know that he was gonna, you know, pass. So, you know, shit happens. It's called life. And, you know, I didn't reach out except for to family members, really, too much for my dad. My dad was a minimalist when it came to being a person. And he didn't want a funeral. He didn't want these big, grandiose thing. He wanted to be cremated. He actually asked to be put in a pine box. We got him a biodegradable ball that's going to purify the water when we put him in there. And he asked to be taken back home to Louisiana. And he wants to go out in the bayou right by, in front of his favorite bar. It happens to be a lighthouse. And that's what the name of the bar is, the Lighthouse. So that's what we're going to do. But my dad, from the time I was little, as soon as I got grown into my clothes, or growing out of my clothes or my shoes, he was always like, don't go outside and play in those shoes. And we were like, why? He was like, because you're going to get them dirty. As a kid, you don't think about it. You're just like, they're shoes. Like, there's dirt outside, there's shoes. There is a possibility that I'm going to get these shoes dirty. But my dad was very strict and very stern. And when he said, you can go outside, but don't get your shoes dirty, we didn't do that. And the reason, as we got older, was that my dad would take our gently used stuff. He was always rounding up blankets, and he worked with different churches, and we would go on Thanksgiving, and instead of, rushing to the kitchen to go feed our faces, my dad would be out there with his propane tank and his cooker. And one year, I remember they just gave out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches because it's all we had at the time. It was after a hurricane. My dad was a very, very charitable person. My dad would give anyone, he'd walk around butt-ass naked if it meant that you needed to be warm. And so when people ask me, where do I get my strength and where do I get this need to just want to fill other people's hearts with, whatever it is that they need, I get it from my dad. And as a kid, it was annoying. I'm not going to lie. Every holiday we were out there. We worked in soup kitchens. We were always constantly having to give our stuff away. And it wasn't until I got pregnant with Maddie, I was 17, I was like, damn, if only I had somebody to help me. And that's really when the realization of the meaning of charity and the meaning of giving, but giving not with like a guilt in your heart, not like regretting like, oh man, damn, that looks better on her than it looks better on her than it did on me, and having that resentment. Depression is a huge thing for the holidays, not just for me because of my loss. It's a thing that I read in the paper, and it's a well-known fact. And if I can do anything for anybody during the holiday season, and I'm here 365 days a year, but if I can go to the Air Force Base and surprise 10 airmen that are fighting for my rights and as a free civilian in a free country, then that's what I'm going to do. To me, it's just not cool just to go and be with Maddie. I feel very close to these kids. I get teared up talking about them because they're just so amazing. And they come from such a rough background. Some of these girls, they are rough. And they will throw down in a heartbeat. But it's because they've had to fight through life. And, they will not show it because they were raised not to show emotions and stuff like that. And they'll go on about their day, and they like to make light of things. They joke about things, so they don't really have to deal with the sorrow or the homesickness that they have. So I like to go, I take the kids, and we're going to go. Every time we visit, we have a great time. But this time, we're taking Patricia, my dog. I still got to figure out what we're going to do with Turbo, the guinea pig, because he just don't fit. And you can't take a rat into a hotel. That's just common sense. But I gotta quit breathing, and y'all, I seriously suck at blowing leaves and dirt. It was supposed to be blowing pine needles. My dad made it look so easy. Like, I literally have dirt, like, in my body. It's gross. But, anyways, I wanted to talk about... Oh, I'm right on point now. I wanted to talk about depression during the holidays. So, I battled depression my entire life. There's always something. I'm a statistic. You name one, other than all the ones about... I'm trying to remove my watch, y'all. When I say I got dirt everywhere, but my makeup is still on, y'all. That's a miracle. Dirt. It's everywhere. Poor Buddha's probably got dirt. Yes, he does. We'll clean him off. So, focusing, I was sweating earlier for those of you that just joined. I have dirt, leaves. I have all kinds of crap. It looks like I grew a mustache while I was out there. I'm dirty. But my makeup is intact. It's amazing. And just for those who were asking, I did not wear a lip stain today. That's the only reason you don't see anything on my lips. But I was blessed today. Went to, getting back on topic, we went to Discount Tire, and we went to Chipotle because there was I think everybody in Humble was at Discount Tire today. And we didn't have the finances to fix any tires, much less all four. So I texted my mom and I let her know, hey, Dad told me, I needed to change the tires or be saving money because I was going to need to change them. Yeah, I told him he was crazy and I need tires. And I don't know what I'm going to do. And I got these kids to go cook for. And, I don't want to let them down. They don't even know that I'm coming. But to me, I'd be letting them down no matter what. And I get a call while I'm at Chipotle with Cordelia. We barely had sat down. And the guy calls me from Discount Tire and said, ma'am, we were able to get the screw out of the one tire that completely just kept going flat. He was like, we were able to patch it up. He was like, and he said, instead of that $790 that I quoted you, he was like, I actually found the same tires that come on that car because they're stock tires that were on there because it's a new car. He was like, I was able to find those tires. They'll be here tomorrow. He was like, and we can give you the whole package, everything, for $347. That brought tears to my eyes because at a time where my family is dealing with a shitload of loss, forgive my French, but who loses 7 family members in 1 month? It's crazy. And we're fixing to lose another one it's going to suck just as hard as the rest of them have. But we evolve. We keep going. And each death brings new clarity and new blessings. And so I texted my mom, was like, hey, send me a quote. And I told her, and she was like, okay, well, I'll send what I can. Because at first I only had the $790 quote to give her. And then I told her, I said, yeah, the guy just said blah, blah, blah. Long story short, my mom said, I'm going to Walmart right now. I'm going to wire you the money. She was like, you need to go do what you're going to go do. And I'm sitting in the freaking Discount Tire parking lot, bawling my eyes out. And, when I walked out the door today, it's the first day I've walked out of my house to run errands or really do anything. I don't even check my mail. I send the kids to do it. In a month. Today is the 20th. My dad died on the 20th, and today's the first day I just really needed to step out and do things. I did go to some of Cordelia's softball games, but it was really hard for me to get up and go and be cheerful at something that she was doing that was so awesome for her. She was learning. It was her first season, but I hated the world. I didn't want to go outside because that would mean I'd have to put on a bra. Ladies, we don't like to wear bras. I'd have to put on makeup. I'd have to fix my hair. Oh, wait, I'd have to take a shower. No. I can count on both of my hands how many showers I've taken in this whole month. And that's sad. But when I read in the Washington Post, in the New York Herald, in all of these different New York Times, all of these news, journalists, broadcasting, newspapers, whatever you call them now, they're on the internet. I read them every morning. And, I came across something that was in the City and News section of the newspaper, and it said that 78% of people are very depressed, severely depressed is what it said, during the months of, from October the 1st to January 1st. Depression among the world is at its worst during the holidays. And I was like, well, people outside of the United States typically don't celebrate Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that. Like, the holidays are different around the world in some places. So I was like, well, this is a strange statistic. And, the Christmas thing I got because, Christ, he's all over the place. But the Thanksgiving one really kind of got me. But it was, it mentioned in there that, just because we're here doesn't mean that people don't have friends and family in other places. Or there's, U.S. citizens living in other places because of work. So I was like, okay, fine. 78% of the, 7, 8, 9 billion people that are here on Earth are severely depressed between October 1st and January 1st. That is a huge effing number. And it just blew my mind. And then right next to that, in the next sentence, it said, and this suicide statistics, it's more than tripled from October the 1st to January 1st. There's more than 3 times the normal amount. Like, why do we even have a normal amount of suicides? Like, I don't even know why that's a thing. But more than 3 times that amount just between October 1st and January 1st. And I said to myself, I did a podcast on it, and I decided to come here because this is a real thing. And if 78% of the people in the world are going through depression or having suicidal thoughts, and I'm friends with a few thousand people on social media, then I'm not the only one going through depression during the holidays. So I decided to not only just do the podcast on it, on my podcast show, but I decided to come here. And all makeup aside, did I go outside and sweat and get dirty and stuff, my makeup's still on? Yes. That's what Limelight does. But I want to talk about us as humans, as women, as men, as children, as parents, as grandparents, as brothers, as sisters, cousins, nieces, nephews, us as a species. I created this thing, hashtag All Lives Matter, about a year and a half ago. And it's turned into this huge thing. And I didn't care. I was tired of hearing the blacks, the whites, the Hispanics. Actually, the Hispanics kind of got pushed off to the corner. I kind of was like, hey, where are we in this conversation? But I was like, I don't really care. We all bleed the same color. So we all matter. And this country is obviously at a huge divide just based on statistics and graphs that we watched during the election. And to know that 78% of people are in a state of severe depression and 92% of our healthcare reform, Obamacare, and major insurance companies do not cover healthcare benefits. I mean, mental health benefits, that is. The healthcare system doesn't cover our mental health benefits. That is, excuse my language, fucking out of this world. Like, that is something that we need to be standing up and asking why. Everybody should just have a big freaking cloud on their head with the biggest letters in the brightest font that just says why. If they're writing about this in the newspaper, behind the Black Friday ads, there's a city and news section, and I found it there in most of the publications that I read. And I'm just like, why isn't this front page news? Suicide is up more than 3% during this time that we're living in right now. I've thought about it. So if I've thought about it, and I guess I'm part of that, part of that statistic as well. And it bothered me because as an activist and as someone who, helped, I was in the forefront of the grassroots effort that started All Lives Matter, or hashtag All Lives Matter. I should be screaming. I should be yelling from the top of my roof. I should be getting on Facebook every day, and I should be getting in my car, and instead of going to see kids for Thanksgiving, I should be going hunt down, Congress. And I stopped to think about it, and I'm just like, why am I the one who's thinking about this? So instead of me doing that by myself, I want to challenge everyone. If you are going through any type of depression, because I think that mental illness is something that every single person deals with on some spectrum at some point. ADHD, do I think that it should fall under mental illness? Absolutely not, but it does. Having an attention deficit disorder, does that mean that you have a mental illness? Unfortunately, it does. And because of the abuse of Adderall and Ritalin and all of these drugs that are used for people with ADHD and ADD, you can't get them at your regular general practitioner anymore. You have to go see a psychiatrist. Well, that puts you in that category that your insurance does not cover. So it's a vicious cycle. So the people that are depressed, they work, they don't like their job, they go to work for the benefits that don't help them with their depression, they become more depressed, and ultimately they just say fuck it and they end it all. Do not call me if I am live and you are on this feed, so that's kind of weird. It's like the commercial that I used to watch when I was a kid, this is your brain on drugs. And the guy's like, oh, I got to go to work to make more money, to buy more crack. And I was like, this guy is an idiot. And then I grew up and I was like, man, why do people do certain things? And then the first time that I found out that I had cancer and had to have all these organs removed, I was that guy. Yes, please do not. I'm still alive. I felt like that guy. I had to go to work to make money, to pay for surgery. But before that, I had to wrap my head around what was going on. So I had to make money, to buy drugs, to go party, and forget that I had cancer. And I did this for 2 years. Just constant. It was a constant circle. Fucking Groundhog Day for 2 years. And my husband never said nothing. Because one, I'm a Taurus. That's my maiden name. And a Taurus can't be stopped. We just can't. You can't tell us no. And, being the good husband that he is, he stood by me. He knew that I would come out of it. And I did. One day we were at the bar and I just said, you know what? I'm ready to go home. And he thought home was, the local party supplier's apartment. And I was like, no, I want to go home. The party's over. I've come to this epiphany and I've accepted what my fate is. I've given it to God and I'm ready to go home. And I've been home ever since. And unfortunately, there are people that obviously can't handle their depression. And, had I not been in control of what I was doing, I could have easily wound up, being that suicidal statistic And probably by accident, because I had such a high tolerance to alcohol and drugs at that time that I wouldn't have known. And that's really sad. And I just want to bring it out. I don't want to put it on the city and news section of the paper. Like, this is something that people need to talk about. I think it's something that, excuse me, y'all, I still got dirt in my throat. I'm going to have to neti pot that crap out. But this is something that people deal with on a daily basis. And the media is telling us that between October 1st and January 1st, it's at its highest and worst statistics of all time. So knowing that, I challenge you to, one, if you fall into that statistic, like I do, raise your hand if you go through some kind of depression, ADHD, anxiety, if you're a germaphobe or you have OCD or you're bipolar or whatever. It doesn't matter. I have more than one of those, so I'll leave that out there. And I've had them my entire life. And I learn to do what I can when I can. And I learn to not let the illnesses define who I am as a person or define how and what I can do with my time. But instead, I turned it into a positive that I could talk to people about. Does it mean that it gets rid of my depression? No. I will be depressed probably forever. I pray every night that God take it away, and I give it to Him. But, life's hard. And life is really hard during the holidays. I'm sure that a lot of the depression and suicides are due to finances. And I just wish that people would get back to that, Charlie Brown Christmas frame of mind. And Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. Let's just all be Charlie Browns. We don't need big flat screen TVs. We don't need massive drones so we can spy on our neighbors having sex. We don't need these big, awesome things. And our kids definitely do not need any more distractions than the world already offers them. If they have a cell phone, they're doing good. Let them be. They're having a cell phone. I have one I got to send back. So, I got one to use as an example. Having a cell phone, this is access to the world. So, this may as well have Satan written across the front of it. If your child has one of these, your child's got access to the world. They don't need anything else. Kids know how to do more shit with that phone than I know how to do with mine. My kids teach me how to use my phone. And now I got the 10 and I'm all over the place. This thing does all kinds of stuff. If you have a mental illness, or I'm going to say, a handicap or just something, whatever you think puts you in that category, own it. Own it. You will waste more energy and more time and take years off of your life if you are constantly spending your time and energy trying to hide who you are from the rest of the world. Whoever you are when you go to sleep at night and you're alone with your thoughts, that depressed or sad or anxious or just methodic person that just is wondering if the knobs are turned right, if you turned off this, if all the soaps are facing the same way, how many times did you flip the light switch? That OCD, that's what I mean by methodical. If you're that person and you're going through this like a freaking rat on a mouse on a swirly thing, whatever it's called, a hamster wheel. If you're that person at night when you go to sleep, own that shit. Be that person. Use that negative, turn it into a positive, get out there and talk to more people that have that negative that you have, and change the freaking world with it. You know, I started changing the world when I was going through cancer for the second time, fighting a brain tumor that was out of control, and I was making change from behind my damn computer. I didn't leave my house almost for 3 years. I was on bed rest. I did everything from behind my computer. And one day I said, you know what? I'm not going to die here in this bed, being 400 pounds. I want my voice to be heard, like, with people's ears, not just typing on the computer and getting put in Twitter jail because I post too many posts. So I made the decision that that's what I was going to do. And that's what I've been doing. And I encourage everyone to step out of that comfort zone that you put yourself in, because at the end of the day, your comfort zone that you try so hard to stay in, it's not very comfortable. It sucks when you have to hide who you are. It sucks when you have to hide a disability that you have. And I'm not going to candy coat the words. I'm going to tell it like it is. It's a handicap. It's a handicap if you allow it to be. It can be a very strong, powerful tool if you allow it to be as well. We have choices in life. And we can choose to be part of that 78% statistic. We can choose to be, that horrible, horrible, gut-wrenching statistic of suicidal people during the holidays. Or we can choose to be grateful. We can choose to, like, for example, I lost my dad. Obviously, everybody knows that by now. Now I have him here on my necklace, and he's always in my heart. I thought life was never going to be the same. And my life never will be the same. But it doesn't matter how many hours I sit in that bed and I sulk and I cry and I scream and I break shit. That man ain't coming home. He is home. He's up there. So I decided today was the 1 month anniversary. I'm going to get the fuck out of my bed. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do what people know me to do. People know me as, Miss Fix-It. People know me as inspirational. People know me as that chick who came from nowhere. I mean, it's in my bio line on my profile page. I started from the bottom and now I'm here. And I'm not just going to stay here. I'm going to keep on going. Because that's what I was taught to do by my father. Whether you have $10 in the bank or you got $1 in the bank, or you were like my grandma and we rolled pennies for her. 9 kids living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Those were the happiest days of our lives. And we were in Deer Park and we went to school every day. And we would trade shirts. Me and my cousin would trade shirts every day. And, we didn't tell nobody that we were poor because we didn't feel like we were poor. We didn't care that we ate rice and beans or papas and eggs or tortillas every day because we freaking loved that stuff. My grandmother made the most amazing tortillas, and none of us have been able to conquer her tortillas yet. I'm a chef and I can't even make them. And she always said the secret ingredient was love, and I think that she was damn right about that because I've tried. I have tried and epically failed. So I'm not saying that everybody that's on Facebook or on my Instagram or Twitter and Tumblr and all that, I'm not saying that everybody that listens to the podcast is going to go out there and they're going to go hoorah and they're going to go change the world. But if I inspire you for at least one day, then I know that I've done my part. I am the most tore up person that I know. And I have more accolades. I have more accolades than the doctors that I've worked for. I have accolades that blow my mind. The things that I've done and accomplished, and the publications that I've been put in. And, people wanting to make sure that my work is seen and my work, is heard, and people remember who I was and what I did on this day at that time. And it's great, but it does not, and it will not define who I am. Because at the end of the day, yes, I've been married 16 years and my last name is De Leon, and I love it. And for the longest part of my life, I can honestly say that I used to say, I hate being a Torres. Like, why couldn't I be born in some other family that made sense and that wasn't crazy? But as I've gotten older and I have adopted, these airmen, I can't say enough about them. They touch my freaking heart and just melt it. I wasn't the only one that thought that. I wasn't the only one wondering why I was born into the family I was. But I'm almost 38 now, and I can tell you that I have the best damn family in the world. And I've never been more proud to be who I am, or to have had the parents that I have. I've never been more proud to have been broke as a child, because it humbled me and humbles me now where I sit in this chair. I've never been... I've never, ever been more gratuitous than I am now. I mean, that's the easiest way to say it. I know a lot of people. I used to know them in low places, and now I really know them in a lot of high places. And as many of you know, I do a lot of work with celebrities, reality house moms. Whoo, Lord, I can't even... It'd be easier for me to tell you the ones that I don't know. But at the end of the night, when I go to sleep and I lay my head down on that pillow and I pray for strength. I pray that my negatives can turn into positives and help other people. And sometimes I get a wild hair up my ass, and I will tattoo it on my body. This is a perfect example. End it. I get asked at least twice a day, what does that mean? What's that big red mark on your hand? I love when people ask that, because it opens up the door for me to tell them that the In It to End It movement was started by Halle Berry and company. And it is the first organization to raise awareness for sex trafficking, human trafficking, and child slavery. And we used to just put an X on our hand one day a year. And even though I started out as an environmental activist, I said, you know what? If I'm going to give all of this energy into protecting land for the future, my children, my future grandchildren, well then, damn it, I need to fight for people too. So I became a civil rights activist and started getting into, writing proposals for Congress and doing all of that stuff. There's a very, very political side to a lot of the stuff that I do and that we do as a crew with Ian Somerhalder and our grassroots initiatives. And then I was like, well, what about the animals? Became an animal activist. And then it just dawned on me I got tired of mentioning all these different things, and I said, what can I come up with? You know, I'm great with hashtags. What can I come up with that will catch people's attention and answer this question simply? Hashtag All Lives Matters was born. And I am one of those lives. And as long as I understand that I matter, and I have kids that understand that they matter, then my life is worth getting out of bed in the morning and taking a damn shower and putting on clothes and this barbaric bra that I just cannot stand. Nobody should have to wear these things. It's horrendous. It's uncomfortable. But it's enough. And I am damn proud to be where I am today. Am I the richest person in the world? Nope. Nor do I want to be the richest person in the world. The more money you have, the more problems you got. My daddy taught me that. And if you're struggling with anything for the holidays, if you're struggling with anything throughout life, forget the holidays. Say you battle depression on a daily basis. You have an insecurity that you fight so hard to hide. Let me tell you, you are not doing a good job of hiding it. Because trust me, the people around you, they know. Because you can stuff it down like trash in a trash can, and you can keep pushing it down, but at the end of the day, it's still trash. And just like trash can in the free world, that shit's going to start smelling really bad. And people will notice and start to feel your energy be really funky and negative. So don't think it's something that you can hide. And I just challenge people to take the mask off. Own your shit. Like, if you're depressed, be depressed. But be depressed with other people that can help lift you up. I'm not saying that doctors are horrible. I wish that I could see a therapist right now, but insurance doesn't cover it. And I'm not going to pay $600 an hour to talk to somebody when I got all of you people to talk to. And I don't think that you need a license to make a change in somebody's life. I've made changes in countless lives. And I still, when I go out and I go to these events and people come up to me and they thank me and they hug and squeeze me and they really don't realize how much it hurts because I have lupus and fibromyalgia and arthritis and I'm like an old lady on the inside. I don't tell them any of that because they're grateful. They're grateful that somebody like me used my life story to create a platform for myself to help other people. Do I hurt? There's not a day that goes by that I don't cry about something. But as long as I'm letting that trash out, and as long as my eyes open and God gives me another day, that's one more day that I can cry, let some more trash out, wipe my face off, make sure my makeup is still on point, put on a smile, whether I want to or not, and I own it. I own who I am. I don't hide it. And nobody should. It's just like guys when they get into a fight, or even girls. If you're out there throwing blows, I mean, back in the Louisiana where I'm from, women throw blows just as well as men, but it takes more energy to gear up, swing, and miss than it does to just punch somebody and try. Same thing goes with your feelings and your emotions and your state of your mental mind set. You have to try. That's all I ask you to do is try. I cry every single day. Not because I ain't got nothing better to do, because I got plenty of things to do. I cry because there's been a lot of loss in my family. And my family is huge. That came out during the hurricane. That was one thing that we did not want to be released, but unfortunately it was. Not that, the elders or my dad or, my aunts and uncles and cousins are ashamed of who our family is. It's because we did not want the focus of the media to be taken off of the 6 people that were in our family that we lost. And unfortunately, that happened. And our family members became not used by their names, but they became the slain Tejano star, her family. So, media can be a source of good more often than not, is what I'm trying to say. Media is fake news. I'm sorry, I'm on that Trump train with the fake news. It's bullshit. And I will call it. I will call your bluff. I will call bullshit all day long. If you say that you can go to bed every night and you're just as dandy as a dandelion and you're fine and you ain't got a care in the world, I want to interview you. Because everybody's got something. And I'm tired of seeing these statistics go up. I'm tired of being a statistic. And we can't change it until we get up and we put our shoes on, we get dressed, and we do our hair, and we do our makeup, or we don't. Nobody gives a shit what we look like. People, it's about what's on the inside. I have to wear makeup because I sell it, and I do professional makeup, and that's just part of who I am. If I went walking out looking like a ragamuffin, people probably ain't going to hire me to do their makeup on their wedding day. But we need to own our stuff, man. We need to own it. If you're depressed, let's talk about it. If you got OCD, let's talk about it. Maybe you can teach me something to teach my kids. Maybe if I can make one of them OCD to where this shit is in order, I'd be a happy mom. People need to listen to their kids. People need to listen to their spouses. People need to listen to their parents. But most importantly, you need to hug your family. You need to tell them that you love them every single day, every chance you get. If it's a phone call, don't bomb out and do text messaging. I hate it. Don't even get me started. Pick up the phone and freaking call somebody. The phone does everything else for you. The least you can do is make a phone call to your family member and say, hey, you know what? I haven't talked to you in 5 years, but I want you to know that I'm thinking about you. It's amazing what a phone call like that can do to somebody. That person could have had a gun to their head right then, and they decided to answer the phone. You could be the difference in somebody living a good life or a bad life, a good day or having a bad day. We all have that power to change. And if y'all need somebody, whoo, Lord, I'm here all the time. Facebook tries to say I spam because my videos are too long. Well, damn it, I got a lot of stuff to say. And there's not enough people out there saying it, so until they shut me down, I'm just going to keep on talking. But I am going to let y'all go. I do got kids I got to feed, and I literally have dirt coming out of my nose. Ooh, the way this video started, Jesus Christ, and where it ends, that's on him, that's on God. When I come on here to talk about how awesome my makeup still looks after I just tried to blow leaves and I got hit in the face with a rock and I have dirt in my hair and leaves. My kids picked the leaves out. Thank you, Jesus. But I came on here to talk about makeup. Dirt, sweat, and makeup. And this message was put on my heart. And I have delivered it the best way that I know how. And this message was for somebody out there. Somebody listening. Somebody that's going to watch the replay. Somebody needed to hear this message. Hell, I know I needed to hear it. Be able to own who you are. Who you are defines how you're going to live in life. If you can own the fact that you have negatives, because we all do, everybody's got negatives in their life. If you can own the fact that there we go. If you can own the fact that you have these negatives in your life, then you can take those negatives and you have the power and you have the control and the know-how to turn them into negatives. And if you don't, I'm here to help all the time. And if I can't help you with your problems, I'm sure I can get you to somebody who can help you. But we need to own our shit. Don't hide the fact that, don't go to work, don't be that person that goes to work, sits at their desk or in their cubicle, or, most of my friends work in hospitals, in healthcare. Don't be that person that just goes to work and is just going through motions every day, praying for that one day they don't wake up. That's not a way to live life. And if you're that person, all right, let me finish this. If you're that person and you're trying to make it work, let me tell you, you're going to wind up being one of those statistics. I don't want that for anyone. If I can make it through the shit that has been thrown at me and this family as a whole, Jesus, who loses 7 family members in a month? Now it's going to be 8 in 11 weeks. Not too many people lose that many family members. But you know what? I made the choice to get out today and make my dad proud. Even though I epically failed at the lawn and I'm wearing more dirt and leaves and pine needles than I thought I was blowing, you know what? I made him laugh. I made myself laugh. I was laughing my ass off. And I needed to laugh because I'm goddamn tired of crying. And if you're that person that just cries on the inside, don't do it. You are wasting your life away. And you are cheating the people around you out of the most magnificent gift in this world, your life. So, I'm sorry for the very long video. Look, my battery's even trying to tell me to shut up. I'm sorry for the very long video, but I just gave a message that was on my heart. It was just supposed to be about dirt, sweat, and makeup. Sorry. When God tells me to speak, I speak. If he says jump, I say how high, but don't make it too high because I might fall down. But I love you all. I do. I love every single one of you, and I thank everybody who has been here with me, supporting me, not business-wise, but just supporting myself and my family and my kids and my extended family and everything that we've gone through. And everybody has just really just blown my mind when it comes to support. And I'm going to pay it forward, and I'm going to get my shit together, and I'm going to go drive up 6 hours north to Wichita Falls, Texas, and I'm going to go make some kids, they're not kids, they're airmen. I'm going to go, get my shit together and get in the car. And Wednesday, I'm going to drive 6 hours north and surprise a lot of awesome airmen who are my new adopted children. And I'm going to surprise them with Thanksgiving dinner because that's just what I do. And that's what my dad would do. That's how I was raised. And that's what I'm going to do. So thank you all. I love you all. If you catch this replay and you need somebody to talk to, I'm always here. I am always here. And if you don't want to talk to me on text or anything, pick up the phone and call me. My phone number is everywhere. But in case you don't have it, it is 281-948-2051. I just ask that you please check Facebook and make sure I'm not live before you call. That happens way too much. So, I love you all, and let's start talking about something that nobody's talking about, mental health. We need to start talking about it. How many more lives need to be lost? It's a damn shame, and we need to talk about it. And if nobody's going to do it, then just like fracking, I'm going to step up, and I'm going to fight, and I'll keep fighting until we win. And we did beat fracking in St. Tammany Parish, and I couldn't be more freaking proud of all of the grassroots people that came together and made that happen. Now, let's do it for mental health. I love you. Got to make dinner for the kids. I've definitely got to take a shower and get this dirt off of me. But my makeup, still on point. Y'all have a good night. Mwah.